Welcome to Woodward Heavyweights from the Better Rate Mortgage Studios, bringing you our third episode with the one, the only Jeff Iafrate. Welcome him, everybody. Yeah, woo. Let's go, Jeff. Yeah. Hey, that kid fucking sucks. Hey, you don't talk about.
Hey, shut up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Hey, so get this motherfucker out of here.
Back up on my fucking dog like that, alright?
Shit. Damn, man. Welcome back, man. Shit. Woodward Heavyweights from the Better Rate Mortgage Studios in them motherfuckers, man.
Shout out Better Rate, baby. You need a mortgage? Hit up our boys at Better Rate. Our boys and women at Better Rate. Our boys, women, and whatever they identify as at Better Rate. You know, hit them up. They'll get you a better rate.
Boxes. Shout out to my penguins at Better Rate Mortgage Studios.
My TAC helicopters, man. Shout out to them.
Everybody.
Shout out.
You need that fucking A50, A150. You need that goddamn AC130 coming in. That's Better Rate with the mortgages, boy. Fuck you mean?
I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, but that shit sound good, though.
That shit sound good. It sounded real. I'm like, I'm stupid. I don't know what that is.
You don't know what AC130 is, man? You don't play no Call of Duty?
Fuck that is, dog.
You ain't never play no Call of Duty?
But I'm with it.
I play 2K only.
2K?
And Madden, but Madden sucks dick now. RIP.
RIP.
I'll never fucking purchase
RP
another
to
Madden.
the CD, can't even play my
Watch
hits.
it. I'll purchase one this year.
If they get 2K should actually purchase NFL rights and make a fucking football game.
Fuck them.
Bro, 2K is the same, dude. They're
getting kind of whack too, but they're still better than Madden.
Yeah.
Shake these bitches off me like, huh?
Anyway, welcome back to the Better Rate Mortgage Studios, Woodward Heavyweights podcast. We got our guy Jeff Iafrate in the motherfucking building.
In the cut
from half court
Rolling
from
doobies
Woodward
up.
Pistons. We just had the lottery live stream last night.
Shit popped off.
Yeah, shit did pop off. You guys fucking killed it as always. I mean, that's what we expected. Anything less, you know what I'm saying? We would have left my man in the audience. You know what I'm saying? Rating you.
I wouldn't be in this chair if it didn't blow up. You know what I mean? That's it's big time.
Pistons got the 5th pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feel?
25 cents on
Listen, I feel good. I tweeted this out the other day, and I'm sure you guys would agree with me. It's different having a guy like Troy Weaver in the building.
Yes.
It just really is. We haven't had this isn't Stan Van Gundy. This isn't Ed Stefanski making these selections. This is a guy who has a resume and has worked alongside Sam Presti, who, listen, Oklahoma City Thunder. Look at that team they built. I know this is same old stuff, but James Harden, KD, we can go through it. Russell Westbrook, Ibaka, Steven Adams, they found serviceable players no matter where they selected.
Alexander.
Yep, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Josh Giddey.
Yep, another one.
I mean, that's not Troy Weaver, but
that still, he comes from, great at identifying talent, so I'm not too worried about it. 5th overall pick. Now, if it was 7, I think, you feel better as you get higher in the draft, but like we kind of talked about today, there's not really a for sure Cade Cunningham in this draft. Like, there's not a guy you look at and say, this is the number 1 overall pick. So if you're going to have the 5th pick, it's probably the year to do it.
Yeah,
honestly,
definally. Because there's
smiling so hard.
I was trying to make you laugh.
I didn't even see you, and then he turned his head, and I saw your face.
I was like, God, Jesus. Imagine waking up to that face. That's right.
No, no, like you said, this is a good draft to have it. This isn't like last year's draft where, well, it kind of is like last year's draft, except there isn't a Cade Cunningham. Because there's you got the Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Josh Giddey, Jalen Suggs, Scotty Barnes, that whole 2 through 6
crazy.
is good. All those guys are going to be studs in the league, and that's what we see with this, with where the Pistons are going to be drafting, unless somebody pulls a fart of the century and doesn't go with one of those top 3 guys with the top 3 picks, which we all think is going to be Paulo, Jabari, and Chet in no particular order. And then you got, anywhere, all hell breaks loose from there. Because then you got Jaden Ivey, you got Shaedon Sharpe, you got Keegan Murray, you got AJ Griffin, you got Jalen Duren, you got Benedict Cumberbatch, you got all these guys that can reasonably be that 4th or 5th pick.
Yeah.
And it's good to have options, and that's what Troy Weaver was on some radio show. I don't know who they are, but some bum radio show this morning, and he was saying that he wants depth. He said he feels like that's what they were lacking was depth. He feels like he's ready to draft right now. If the draft was today, he said he'd be ready. But obviously, you still got to bring these guys in. You got to interview them. You got to sit down with them. You got to see what kind of person they are.
Right.
And he said he's drafting off of what would work best in his system, what would be best with Cade, with all of those guys. And when I hear all of that, it makes me think they're going guard because they need depth at guard. They have Killian, but Killian's not obviously an offensive threat per se.
Right. And
when Cade goes down, like we saw when Cade wasn't there for the first couple weeks, God forbid he gets hurt next year, rolls an ankle, misses a couple weeks. They don't have that impact guard, that guy who's going to run the offense, that guy who's going to come out there and make shots. So I think if they pick that up in the draft, and let alone these guys are two guards. These aren't point guards that are in the draft, And so if we pick up one of those
don't even do
that can run side by side with Cade, and then like I said, God forbid if Cade gets hurt, he can take that show over a little bit just to keep him floating until Cade gets back.
Well, I hear depth. I think more the center position, but I just want to speak real quick too before we move on from it about the not being upset about the number 5 pick, and it's everything I already said on BDE, but just reiterate it for the Woodward Heavyweights listeners and shout out to you guys. We fuck with y'all for fucking with us. Make sure you hit that like button.
With y'all heavy.
Subscribe.
If you're talking shit in the comments, we love it.
We love you.
We love it.
Big facts. But
keep supporting. I love all my fans.
Anyway,
they're all fans.
Anyway, motherfuckers, this year's draft isn't last year's draft in my opinion, to where like the fact that the number 1 overall pick keeps shuffling around and there isn't like a for sure answer. Like, I think that's, if this is a year to have a 5th pick, you know what I'm saying? To, like, or at least not feel guilty or bad about having the 5th pick, because with those names shuffling, that means no one's a for sure hit. No one's a for sure hit. And I simulated it, or I don't know if that's a word to use, but I related it to the NFL draft this year. Same kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? This shit was just shuffling. And I use the example of like Trayvon Walker being your Chet in this year's draft related to the NBA. Yeah. I see Jabari Smith being your Aiden Hutchinson related to the NBA. I see freaking Kayvon Thibodeau being your Paulo, you know what I'm saying? The guy who's supposed to be really good, but kind of like left you unfulfilled, you know what I'm saying?
Shit, Paulo falls to 5. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, Chet, too. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
not gonna happen.
Chet being your fucking unicorn, your Trayvon Walker with all these fucking exciting attributes, but like you have to prove it on that level. And obviously Jabari's being your pros pro, like for sure thing.
Right.
And like as much as I do like Jabari Smith and like that too, is like, do you guys see him or any of those 3 guys? Maybe Chet, if he pans out what he's supposed to be, but taking over the league or just being like number 2 in the big 3, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see those guys being like the guy.
I get what you're saying, and it's hard to project guys. If you look at Giannis when he was coming out, you never would have thought he would take over the league. So a lot of it has to do.
He's a
with,
late round pick though,
right? But just in general though, no one really would have thought immediately Cade would be the impact player he is right away. Like you knew he'd be the best player, but. He's special. I mean, doing things that only Michael Jordan did in the month of March. Like, you just don't expect those things. So with this class, what you can do is you take a guy that you're confident in that will develop. And that's kind of why I love Jabari Smith, because he gets a lot of those things that you want to teach. He already checks them off. Like, you know what I mean? So the things that, the playmaking and other stuff like that, you can coach that. I mean, that a jump shot is not, sometimes that's not always coachable. You know, and he checks a lot of those things off immediately. So I agree with every one of your points you made. I think Troy Weaver, honestly, in a way, kind of likes it. Like, he likes being in this position to where not only you got to see what happens in front of you, but, like we said, we have 4 or 5 guys you can make an argument for
we got a couple
at 5. So I think Troy Weaver's going to thrive in that environment. He already had, the number 1 overall pick, a lot of pressure on him. You got to take your number 1. He took Cade. It was the right decision. So now he gets another test this year, and I can't wait to see what he does.
And there's a name on this list too that like could, if he played, and definitely probably next year, could have been like the number 1 overall pick, possibly or 2. I'm not tripping on Shaedon Sharpe. I mean, like, you guys, Jeff, you know more than Spencer on this one, or maybe you do. I don't know. No one really knows a lot about this kid.
Right. It's hard to. You don't have a lot of film on him, but the thing I can say about Shaedon Sharpe is one thing you see is honestly just the athletic ability right away. You can see the bounce he has. Other than that, though, I mean, the number 1 player coming out of high school. I mean, number 1 ranked, committed to Kentucky. Every school wanted him, of course, but not playing his freshman year. There's always question marks. You're going to look at guys that played their freshman season and wonder, okay, this guy is, I feel, and I hate the word safer, but I'm taking a guy who I have film on during his freshman season. I don't give a damn. I mean, guys have came out of high school before. Yes. And Shaedon Sharpe is a guy that, yes, you might need to be a little more patient in his development. When he pays off, he pays off. I think he has the highest upside in this draft, and I still think that.
Kyrie Irving played like 10 games at Duke.
He did.
Not
he
even,
was injured,
and we've heard some talk that we know it wasn't an injury. We know he was healthy. He was ready to play. Pistons talk, Anthony, our guy back here, said the reason he didn't play was because he was cooking everybody at Kentucky practice. He was murdering Ty Washington. He was putting those guys out there, and so they're, all the prospects, everybody there was, and their agents were telling him like, all right, chill. Like we need these guys to be top prospects. We need these guys to go high in the draft. And if Shaedon would have played, he would have stole the show from them. And I read a couple articles about that today, and it was like, Kentucky assistant coaches were saying like that was in the plan all along. Was Shaedon was not going to play his first year. Like, this is the plan. He's not going to play, and he's going to come back, and he's going to lead this team and dominate this team his second year. And then he just said, fuck it. He said, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to make millions of dollars. And more power to him, man.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. If you're ready, go. They shouldn't even have to go to college, in my opinion.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, especially where the NBA's heading, like, guys are going to start coming out of high school anyway.
Yeah.
So the fact that people are that scared to take a guy who, yes, took his freshman season off, he's still practicing with him, like your point, what you were just saying. So I don't get the question marks, man. I mean, he's talented. If Sacramento fumbles that bag and does not select him, and he's sitting at 5. I don't know how you don't take him. I don't know how.
He's literally the only guy outside the gym I was talking about earlier that would want.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, he's 6'5", 6'6". He's got stupid bounce. Apparently he had a 49-inch vertical, and like
Michael Jordan's was 48.
Michael Jordan's was 48. Yeah, you said that on BDE today, and it's insane. When I was watching his AAU highlights this morning when I woke up, and it was like freak athleticism. We haven't had a freak athlete like that in a long time. Like, I'm talking chin at the rim, arm cocked back to here, like stupid dunks. And he is an NBA level shot maker where he's hitting these.
That's the big one.
He's hitting these step back threes. He's hitting these crazy buckets, shooting from 30 feet, doing anything he wants. Obviously, you see here posting up guys, dunking on people.
Should we pull your mic away from the levels?
He plays bigger than what he is, and it's tough to see, an argument against him, especially when you're comparing him to a Jaden Ivey or somebody like that. And I'm really excited. I really hope we get this kid. And
my heart, before you go, I just want to say my heart tells me in this draft, number 1 overall, you got the Magic. They're going to go big. They're going to get a big. Whether it's Chet, Jabari, I feel like it's going to be Jabari. But again, and then you have number 2, you have Oklahoma City. Probably going to go Chet Holmgren, in my opinion. You get your center. You get another piece of that core to build with. 3, Houston. They're going to go Paulo Banchero. I think in my opinion, unless they trade it out, which we'll get to that too. But what really is the big one is Sacramento at 4.
Yeah.
What does Sacramento do? I'm assuming, and listen, Sacramento's been taking guards, I feel like, the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know what. Every draft they take a guard, and people, they're going to go big. I think they're going to take another guard. I think they're going to take a 2 guard, whether that's Jaden Ivey or Shaedon Sharpe. I think that's going to help dictate what the Pistons do. Because if they take Jaden Ivey, and this kid falls right into your lap, I don't know what you do. But if they take Shaedon Sharpe, then of course that's why I'm kind of leaning Jaden Ivey as well, or Keegan Murray.
Discussion. I look at this kid Shaedon Sharpe, and I think like this is Jalen Green. In my opinion, like if we would have paired Cade with Jalen Green, I have no clue. I also have nothing really to base off because we didn't see him play. But to your point about Anthony Pistons talk saying that the reason he didn't play, which I don't know if this is true because it doesn't make sense to me, but essentially he didn't outshine these other dudes. Well, guess what? He didn't play, and he still outshined these other dudes. You know what I'm saying? He's still projected to go over them, like even now. So it's like that's weird weirds me out. Yeah, it's a weird concept, but it is what it is, man. Like. Look, Kobe Bryant out of high school, LeBron James out of high school, Kevin Garnett out of high school. I'm not tripping taking this kid out of high school. If the 49, he's obviously extremely explosive. He's only 18 years old. He's gonna turn 19 on 30th. We were looking at Jeff.
Yep.
Like, dude, this may even be like a Anthony Davis situation where he continues to grow even after he's been drafted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think you take the chance because there's such a fucking high upside, to be honest.
And just to see him in the backcourt with Cade, I mean, he's a polar. It feels like not a polar opposite, but like you said, Cade less athletic, fundamentally. He plays the game in his pace. Then you have Shaedon Sharpe who can jump out of the gym and do things that like you said, high level shot maker. He's going to be a great defender because Dwayne Casey, this is what they're going to preach to him, and he's so incredibly athletic.
To get him that young to mold.
Yes, 6'5", 6'6". He has a nearly 7 foot wingspan. I mean, that's absurd.
Yes,
that's absurd. And you got a 49-inch vert. Like, that's a Troy Weaver's prospect. That is what he looks for: versatility, athleticism. I mean, that he checks all the boxes. So it would make perfect sense.
And for me too, I woke up this morning wanting Keegan Murray. You know what I'm saying? I plan to go on BDE and preach all that shit. But you guys sold me on Shaedon Sharpe. Like I said, the fact that with LeBron, Kobe, all those names, that just sold me in.
And Keegan's good. I mean, he's like I said. I hate saying he's whoever it is. I mean, when you're talking just drafts in general, he's the safe pick. I hate saying that.
It factor.
Yeah, like you're almost saying like this guy's good, but he'll never be great. Keegan Murray can be great. I just see. I look at upside, and I see a higher upside in my opinion. Could be wrong. We'll check back in a couple of years, but I see a higher upside in Ivy and in Shaedon Sharpe, and that's just me. Keegan Murray's gonna be a fantastic player in the league, and I think a lot of arguments that you make and people can make for Keegan is correct. Yeah. Like you need guys like this on your NBA roster. Look at the conference finals. Yeah. There's plenty of Keegan Murrays all around. So yes, I mean to your point, Keegan Murray's a terrific prospect. I don't know. I can't sell myself to take him over a Sharpe or an Ivy.
And that's the same thing with me. Is I woke up and I was watching Keegan Murray highlights, and I looked at him. I was like, wow, this is impressive. This is a 6'8" guy. He's taking people off the dribble. He's hitting these 3-pointers. He looks good around the basket. His feet look good around the basket. He's finishing well around the basket. He's getting other teammates involved. But then I looked at the Shaedon Sharpe highlights, and I was like, this kid's gonna be a star. I was like, this is a stud right here. And so, like you said, and that I brought that point up on BDE today is you look at the big men that are left in the conference finals right now. It's Bam Adebayo, Grant Williams, Dwight Powell, Draymond Green to a point.
Right.
And they're not these dominating presences in the paint. They're not these Jokic's, Joel Embiid's, Andre Drummond's. They're not these 7-foot guys. They are 6'8" to 6'10".
Guard multiple positions.
Guys who can guard, 3 through 5. They can switch off on a guard if they have to, and they can hit shots. And that's definitely important to have, but I think that's where we have Marvin Bagley. I think that's where we have a Jeremy Grant if we keep on to him and we fill that hole. I think what we need out of a big man is we need a paint defender. We need a guy that's going to block shots. We need a guy that's going to rebound. So, I mean, I know I've been saying this for fucking months now, but Mitchell Robinson, he's available. He fills that role. He's going to be a fourth of the price of a Deandre Ayton, and I like what he does, and he's going to know his role. He's not going to be I don't want to label him as that, but a diva like Deandre Ayton, where they need this many shots. I don't know if this is the case, but it's kind of what it seems like. He felt like he wasn't being used enough, and that's not Mitchell Robinson. He's going to go out there. He's going to block 3 shots a game. He's going to give you 15 rebounds, and he's going to catch 4 lobs from Cade Cunningham.
Oh, absolutely.
And if that's what we have, I'm taking that, and give me Shaedon Sharpe, and that gives us 2 freak athletes. And
you haven't even spent money yet.
And we haven't spent any money yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's the big thing to hammer home, and that's why the Jalen Brunson discussions, I wanted the lottery to happen so we can clear some of this stuff up. Now you have the 5th overall pick. It's probably going to be a guard. No to Jalen Brunson already. I mean, it was previous already, but now that they're probably taking a guard, you can kind of know what they're going to do. Now everyone's talking about DeAndre Ayton. I'd have no problem if they didn't spend any money, big money this offseason, because you got to think, too, a lot of these acquisitions, look at the New Orleans Pelicans. Look what they did. I brought this up on BDE. Look what they did when they got C.J. McCollum, and there's plenty more moves like that. I mean, you have to go through and actually look, but you can acquire guys midseason in the NBA. It's just the reality of it. Yeah. It's really the teams that have cap space available that always end up getting them. So that's what it comes down to. Don't overpay for anybody. But like you said, Mitchell Robinsons of the world, like I looked at free agents the other day, just looking through them. I mean, there's some guys you can go get. Gary, I thought Gary Harris is a great selection.
Yes,
cheap option.
G-Dub, shout out, Spartan Dog.
Another Brian Forbes, another Spartan Dog. That's no bias. I mean, these guys are just available and they're great, dude. Yeah. And they fit the timeline. They're not 30 plus. Asking for, they want to be on a winning organization. You got to look at other things, and they can make some moves.
If what you really want, because again, like bringing it back to the big men in the playoffs now. We already have that in a Marvin Bagley and an Isaiah Stewart, to where they're not these dominating presences in the paint.
Stout towers.
But they can switch on different players. They can hit open shots. We saw Isaiah Stewart show that he can hit an open 3. It's not it's not the best. Still needs some work, and I do think we need more help rebounding. So those guys, you can bring them in when we need, but you can find a 7-footer anywhere in the
Yeah.
NBA. You know, these guys are going to be coming up on deals too. Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas. These guys are going to be on the free agent market soon, and you can get one of those guys, plug them in. When you're playing a Joel Embiid, when you're playing a Jokic, you put in one of those 7-footers. You put in a Mitchell Robinson. You put in somebody to bang with him.
Absolutely.
And then when you're playing these teams that are, you know, the Warriors, the Raptors, teams like that, that's where, you know, Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart slide in, and they're more adaptable, they're more changeable, switchable on defense compared to a dominating paint presence that's kind of, you know, obsolete in the NBA nowadays.
And to your point quickly, look at the conference finals and look at the centers.
Yes.
Bam Adebayo is the best center still alive, and he's not even 7 foot. He's like 6'9". Mm-hmm. So think about that for a second. Like the best. Where'd he go?
Fucking MVP center.
He went home.
He gone fishing.
Joel Embiid, he couldn't do it. He's banged up. I mean, a lot of other things.
There's those two guys, like, Jokic is missing his best two players. Yeah. Joel Embiid had a broken face in James Harden. Mm-hmm. So, I mean.
Well, I mean, to the Jokic's point, and he did face the Warriors, and the Warriors were fucking absolutely deadly in that series.
He
but
didn't
like
have Michael Porter or
look at what Luka's playing.
Jamal Murray.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's the point. Not saying you can't.
I guess.
Not saying you can't win, because look at last year. The Suns made the finals with Deandre Ayton. So obviously the centers are always a plus. But to the point, like that's just where the NBA, especially in this playoffs right now, what you're seeing is, to your point, guys that can guard, versatility all around the floor. Yes. I mean, you got your 6'10", you got like 4 guys
Grant
that are 6'7". Yes, Grant, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart. So
and it's the thing with Keegan too. I don't necessarily even see him as a big man. I see him as like a 3. And we could jump into the 4 if need be. And like I was just looking on the phone while you guys were talking. Like I'm looking at his 3-point stats. Dude, he's shooting a higher percentage than Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
On nearly 5 attempts. The same amount of attempts as Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's 35%. Looking at Keegan Murray's 39%.
He can shoot.
And he's the guy on the team. So you know he's the defensive key. You know what I'm saying? When he's playing against teams. So it's like, I don't know, man. I like this kid. I feel like he'd definitely be a nice piece. He spaces the floor, especially when you got somebody like Cade. That's what he specializes in. You know what I'm saying? Like letting guys utilize their strengths. I watched like tape on him this morning, the same way you were talking with Spence on Keegan Murray. And like, dude, he's even making cuts towards the basket in a non-space floor in Iowa because it's Big Ten basketball.
Yeah.
A bunch of big-ass white guys. There's no space. But he's still making the cuts, getting to the rim, you know what I'm saying, catching the ball and finishing it. And, like, I don't know, man, obviously he's super long. He's 6'8". He's got a rangy catch radius, you know what I'm saying, to even, like, catch the ball off.
And he can handle the ball, too.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching him take dudes off the dribble. He was taking it up full court. You know, obviously he's going to need to get better at taking the ball up the court if he wants to do that in the NBA life, because that's different than when you got these guys pressing you and these great defenders all around you. You can't just be lazy bringing the ball up the court, but he'll still be able to take big guys off the dribble. He'll still be able to hit these shots. And if Shaedon Sharpe isn't there, I would love for us to get Keegan Murray, because that is the guy that would fill that Grant Williams role. That like I said, I compared him to Bam Adebayo just like size wise and like quickness wise.
Yeah.
But Bam is a much better defender, and Keegan has a much better offensive game. Like he's a much better shooter.
Yeah, he can
than
play
Bam
outside.
I was thinking like
Adebayo is a much better defender. So they're like yin and yang.
Otto Porter or
somebody said Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is a good comp.
I think he shoots better than Kuzma too, to be honest with you.
Because that's what he is. I think Kuzma's a little bigger. I think Kuzma's like 6'10".
Yeah.
But but still
I don't know he's fucking that big.
It's impressive, and that's what you need. You know, you need those guys. Obviously, we've seen that. We've brought it up 4 times already with all the bigs remaining in the playoffs, but I just think Shaedon Sharpe's going to be special.
Like you can't go wrong with Keegan Murray. I mean, at worst case scenario, you're getting someone who is 6'8", who can shoot.
Yeah.
And can handle the ball. Like everything we're going over. I mean, and I think he's got a higher defensive upside than people give him credit for too. I mean, he was doing things. I mean, steals, blocks. He was all over the floor. So a lot of upside there.
Because he's long.
I mean, if I had to name 3 guys that I'm okay with, because that's how it is right now. It's not really one. Those are the 3. I mean, it's Shaedon Sharpe. If I had to rank them, it'd probably be Shaedon Sharpe 1, Keegan Murray 2, 3 Jaden Ivey. That's probably mine.
So let's get into Jaden Ivey. He's a poor man's Shaedon Sharpe, if you will.
When you play his videos, can they still hear our audio?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Jaden Ivey, mate, you guys know, I'm sure both of you know, I'm not a big fan. I don't think less of him. I just don't like the pairing of him and Cade. I don't think he shoots well enough. I don't like his fundamentals. And this this shit too. Like I watch, you know what I'm saying, but I also when I hear like a second opinion of other people who like are Jeff Iafrate, who do like Strictly Hoops podcasts like that. When I hear it come out of guys like that out of their mouths as well, it just confirms everything that I'm already like looking at. You know what I'm saying? So like with Jaden, again, I'm not saying he's going to be a bad pro or he's not going to be good. I just don't like the pairing of him and Cade. I feel like he needs the ball in his hands to excel, and that's the situation with Cade. And obviously we know Cade has the ball. He's making the team better.
You just hit on it, right?
It's not the case with Jaden.
You just hit on it right there. It needs a ball in his hands. And I think, obviously, it's important for any point guard, shooting guard. But with Jaden Ivey, I think a big part of it is playing off ball, getting better, especially his three-point shot. Because if you're going to play next to Cade, you're going to get plenty of open looks. It's just a matter of can you knock him down. When Cade's off the floor, I believe Jaden Ivey would be a great ball handler. He'd come into the game, he'd make plays.
Absolutely.
If you compare him and John Morant's film, they're very similar. What I will say, though, is just beware, because him and John Morant are not the same player. I mean, John Morant, if John Morant was on Purdue, they ain't losing that early in the NCAA tournament. It's just different. It's different mindsets. So I will say, though, he is intriguing. I mean, he came back for a second year, and he just got incredibly much better. So he's definitely someone that I look at, and I'm kind of looking from a distance. But if I had to give two, I'd take over. I mean, it's just Keegan, because I'm getting something I know what I'm getting out of Keegan. There's upside. And then Shaedon is just too good to pass up on potential like that. I mean, especially if you're taking top 5.
Yeah, I think if you're taking Jaden Ivey, that means Shaedon Sharpe isn't there, and you're stuck on getting a guard, because Shaedon Sharpe is everything that Jaden Ivey is, but better. And I see him. I watched a lot of Jaden Ivey this year, being a Michigan State fan, watching a lot of Big Ten basketball. And when I watched him, when I put my eyes on him, I liked what I saw. He's got great body control when he's in the air. He can make shots. He gets to the lane easily. He's got that quick. Why they compare him to Ja is because he's got that quick twitch speed. He's got that bounce where it looks like he's hanging in the air for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is impressive. Again, you can't find that everywhere, but it can't be the only thing. You need more to your game. I would have loved to see him play better defense. I would have loved to see him take over in those tournament games to be like, all right, we're not going home. This is my team. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to drop 20 points in the second half, and we're going to stay. We're going to stay here. We're going to move on to the next round. But he didn't, and that is a factor. Is like what we saw with the Lions is. Them drafting these dogs, drafting that dog mentality, these guys that are going to go out there, they're going to fight. And I feel like Troy Weaver shares that same sentiment, where he wants these guys that will fight, that will get better, that aren't going to give up. You see that with drafting guys like Isaiah Stewart, Saban Lee, Isaiah Livers, these guys that are going to go out there, they're going to scrap, they're going to give everything they have. And I don't see that out of Jaden Ivey, although he has some great athleticism. He's got some great points to his game. But I'm in the camp of Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe's not there. Keegan Murray. That's
a great way to put it. If your shot's not falling, who are you? I've always said that. So I think with these two guys that I have above Jaden Ivey, I know what they're going to bring if their shot's not falling. I mean, Shaedon Sharpe, hell, if you're having a bad night, I still got a guy who's 6'6", with a 7-foot wingspan, can jump out the gym and can move laterally. I'm good with that. Jaden Ivey, like you said, if Shaedon's off the board, I'm okay with it. But I don't think anybody can look me in the face and tell me Jaden Ivey's a better prospect coming into the draft than Shaedon Sharpe. I mean, that people that actually believe that, so I think it's a little bit ridiculous. If you're going to pick Jaden Ivey over Keegan Murray, I get it. Everyone has their own personal favorites. But don't tell me he's the best guard. I mean, if you're ranking him just because Shaedon Sharpe didn't play his freshman year.
Yeah.
That's
if we're talking too, it's like I mean, we got it on the list here, and I just want to mention the name. I would even probably, just for fit, for our Pistons, AJ Griffin even probably over Ivey for me, just because I feel like he would play better alongside Cade.
Yes.
The shot that he has and the range that he has. And another guy with high potential. He's 6'6", 220. That's a solid frame, especially the two-guard position. You know what I'm saying? And, he had a couple of injury issues heading into his college year in Kentucky or whatever. And it's we still haven't, I feel like, we've seen his full potential as well. Another young guy, too. He doesn't turn 19 until August, as it says in the sheet here. The sheet also said that freaking Sharpe was 19, though, so I don't know. But AJ Griffin, a guy I'd probably even consider at the two guard, if we're stuck at the two guard spot.
That's AJ Griffin seems more of the prototypical wing that you want in the a long, tall, shot making, gonna defend.
Like Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey, like Klay Thompson, even that kind of guy. He looks a lot like Klay Thompson to me, in the fact that he's already a great shooter. He's already a capable defender. But he can unlock even a little bit more of his game if he can get, he can get those dribble drives. He can do some mid-range stuff, but you pair him with a Cade Cunningham, and that's what we need is someone that
I'm just looking.
Someone that can shoot the ball, someone that can put the ball in the basket from beyond the arc. On top of, other than I think a paint defense and rebounding, that's our number one need is shot making from the outside, and this is a guy that can do that. This is a guy that will stand there. He'll be ready when Cade draws that double team and he kicks it out to him every time, ready, going up. That's what he does. And he might become a Klay Thompson. He might become a Rip Hamilton where they're sending him off screens. You're getting a back screen from Jeremy Grant and he's coming flying up on the side, catches it at the top of the key, ready to go. So you can never have enough shooting, and that's what AJ Griffin is. He's an elite shooter.
Mm-hmm. And there's one name too I want to discuss. There's two more names on the list, but one I wanted to bring up first because I feel like it's more
Benedict Cumberbatch
position of need, or even over him, Jalen Duren, center of Memphis State, 6'11". Dude, I think he's what 7'5" foot wingspan, 7'5" foot. That don't even make no sense. 7'5" wingspan. We'll just leave it at that. Obviously, supremely athletic, big, strong build. Just position need. Obviously, a center. Would you be mad if they pulled the trigger on a guy like him?
For me. As much as I love the prospect, when I'm taking a center that high, I would like to have a two-way center. You know what I mean? Like someone that can dominate offensively as well as defensively. If I'm taking Jalen Duren because he's a good defender, I could find a good defender late in the first round, in the second round. So maybe not to the level of Jalen Duren, but you get the point. Jalen Duren, there's things on the offensive side of the ball he's got to get cleared up. 3 blocks. 3 blocks though. You can't argue that. Free throw shooting and stuff like that. Shot spacing out a little bit more. I think I like Jalen Duren, but for me, like if I'm taking a guy in that spot, it's got to be a guy that I know can grow into, X, whatever it is. Yeah. And if they feel like Jalen Duren is that guy, then, I get on board with it.
And if I may too, like I don't know if you guys remember in the tournament, we had the fucking honor of him versus Chet.
Yeah.
And I think he handled Chet fairly well. I think Chet only scored like 6 or 9 points that game.
They went toe to toe out. That was a great matchup. So again, it's about, because you mentioned before, like if we talk about any of these guys, I mean, even Benedict Mather, and like these are guys that I know they're bringing a bunch of different tools, and I know they can bring it on the other side as well. Yeah. Like with Jalen Duren, I think there's more question marks, but certainly, man, like that, whoever you take, it's going to clear up so many questions. Because if you take Jalen Duren, okay, then we're not going to, DeAndre Ayton's off the table. Yeah. You understand that they're filling these positions. The Pistons just need talent. So it doesn't really matter. Like all these guys we can talk about, just take the best player. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, BPA.
And that's what I liked what you said about if you're going to draft a center there, it's got to be somebody that
like Evan Mobley.
And Evan Mobley. A Joel Embiid. One of these guys, I'm not drafting a center in the top 5 unless I know he's going to be a Joel Embiid. Unless I know he's going to be an Evan Mobley. Unless I know he's going to be this game-changing, new age 3-and-D center. Which is wild. If you would have told somebody back in the day, my center's shooting 10 threes a game, they would have told you you're stupid. Yeah, but that's what you need. And like I said, with Jalen Duren, he's more of a rim run guy. He's more of a he's a great defender, obviously. Yeah. 250, 7'5" wingspan, 6'11". You can give him 7. They'll call him 7'2" in the NBA. Even though he's 6'11".
With shoes on.
And they told us Cade was 6'8" or some shit.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, he's
6'6". We said that earlier. Is that you can find those guys. You can find a 7-footer that will rim run and defend. You can find, a Mitchell Robinson. I hate to beat a dead horse, but a Mitchell Robinson. You can find a Steven Adams.
We're getting Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, I feel like that's a book 'em. For me, that's how I feel.
I've been speaking into existence for fucking months now, but those are guys that you can find in the NBA. You can find those guys falling off of a team. And I don't want to use a top 5 pick on somebody that I think is going to be
that's fair.
Not even able to use in some situations. You get a Jalen Duren at 6'7", 7'5" wingspan. What are you going to do when you're playing the Warriors? What are you going to do?
They're going to get him out of the game.
Yeah, what are you going to do when you're playing the Mavericks? What are you going to do when you're playing these other teams? If you can't have him on the floor at all times, I don't see using a top 5 pick on him.
Yeah, and that's why Chet, to your point, Chet would, just you bring so many different other things. Yeah. So
even fucking Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year.
I hate Rudy Gobert.
They run him right off the floor. Dude.
Yeah,
like it's tough.
I
nowadays.
hate Rudy Gobert.
And they did it. The Mavs did it without Luka even being in the game.
Jalen Brunson in there.
I can guard a Shaq.
Yeah, he's clowning. I mean, I get it.
Was
you gotta
ridiculous.
say that shit.
Yeah, you gotta have confidence.
You gotta say that shit, but you gotta also be like, all right, Shaq is the most dominating force the NBA has ever seen.
I would just say
I'll
good
know my
matchup.
bounds.
Be good matchup. Yep. Be good matchup.
Like Shaq's never backed down a 7-footer. Like this guy,
yeah.
he's babying 7-footers every other day.
You got to be confident in yourself, but
Big
that's just
Alonzo
stupid.
Mornings and shit too. Like, dog,
Body.
That's just stupid.
Rudy
you know?
Gobert. Oh,
Well,
I hate Rudy
spent a
Gobert
podcast
so
just
much.
talking about that goofball, man.
Troy Weaver
Shut
has
down that
garnered a
man.
nickname at certain points in his career with the Detroit Pistons as Trader Troy for a reason.
Trader Troy.
Houston,
Yeah, I like that.
The
Houston
Reaper.
flirting around with moving from that 3 pick.
Yeah.
And Rod brought this up. We had a pod today with Rod, and Rod Beard, obviously.
Shout out Rod Beard.
Rod Pod.
Shout out Rod Beard. He
Rod
brought up a
Pod.
great point. He's like, why in the hell would Houston want to help Detroit?
Yeah.
And I agree with him. The more I thought about that, I'm like,
Yeah.
why would they give us,
We're
knowing that
definitely-
let's say,
The cities are beefing. I don't know the organizations are, but the cities definitely are.
if you're, let's say,
Fuck Travis
let's
Scott.
flip sides. Flip sides. All right, let's flip sides. Let's say we're Detroit,
Yeah.
us fans, we have the 3rd overall pick.
Okay.
And we're shopping.
I'm not
Yeah.
trading into Houston.
What'd you say, Spencer?
I'm not trading into
Yes,
Houston.
you as fans though.
But you don't think they think, okay, listen, I it's almost like justifying your pick, like from last year. That's in a way. I don't know if this is true, but this is how I see
Nah, I
it.
don't, yeah.
My
This is how I see it.
Shut up.
Like I feel like if you're the GM of the Rockets,
Uh-huh.
and of course, and let me say this too,
Daryl
if the
Morey?
Pistons,
You know who it is?
no, he's
in
with Philly now.
Oh, Philly, yeah.
Yeah, shout out Darren Moore again. But I'm just thinking if you're a GM and the Pistons offer you a great deal, of course you're not going to turn it down. But I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
if you have other offers, why in the hell would I give my 3rd overall pick? I know it's 2 spots, but for this, for Detroit in this instance, to get their guy, hopefully, whether Jabari, Paulo, whoever it is, and then I go back and move. And it would have to be if they're comfortable with the guys available. If they know, well, my guy's going to be better than their guy, then I guess that's different. But if I don't want Houston to get a better player than us.
They don't give a shit.
I don't
though.
get it.
Like that's us as fans. They don't see us but twice a
Yeah,
year.
and you've seen
Whole
like
different conference and all that shit.
You
They
know,
don't care.
The Vikings traded us their pick.
Yeah.
And that's a lot more.
But they're probably like, listen, it's the Lions. I ain't fearing
What
them. But I get what you're saying.
what
That's so true. It's fucked up.
makes them want? You think they would want one of these young big guys? I mean, they already have.
I don't get that.
Jalen Green. They've
Yeah,
got
Sengun though.
That's why I'm not understanding.
Yeah, they must have a lot of faith in Sengun and Christian Wood. I guess
I feel like Houston just like talking. Like I feel like they're just talking to see
Yeah.
what offers they get, and they might probably just stay put.
To be fair, Troy did do the same shit last year.
Because why would you trade
number 1
Why
pick.
would you trade for this number 3 pick without even knowing who the 2 in front of them are? You know what I mean? You have to
Yeah.
wait till draft night.
even
'Cause-
not if any one of those 3 guys is a starter on your team.
But let's say they want to go after a Paulo or Jabari, and you have Jabari, Paulo go 1 and 2, and then you're sitting there like, well, you know what? And but I'm just saying they might love Chet, but I'm just saying hypothetically they're like, well, it's a complicated
fuck
situation.
the
You know what? Yeah, they're
Rockets,
probably just
so-
doing their due
Bottom line,
diligence.
fuck the Rockets. I think that's
fuck
the
the
moral of the
Rockets.
story.
Isaiah Thomas is better than Akeem Olajuwon. Get over it.
Yeah, no, I think I'm thinking about it too. Like thinking back to when Troy even was flirting with that shit last year, or like he was like, I don't know if it's Cade for sure. Like they're just doing their due diligence and fucking like you know what I'm saying.
If you can get a bonehead, hopefully it ain't us, but like someone
Kings.
trade up. Yeah, the Kings trade up 1 spot.
Yeah.
I'm taking. If I'm
I
Houston,
could totally
taking
see
that
the King-
deal.
That's a total Kings move.
Yeah. We'll trade you De'Aaron Fox and our pick for your pick. It's like, what? Dude?
Yeah.
If I was a
You know
Kings
what though?
fan,
The
man.
76ers did it and they fucked up. The
Yeah,
Celtics.
they should have just
Yeah,
taken
the
Jason
Celtics,
Tatum.
the
Could have had
Celtics
Tatum fall
said
for
they
him,
got
yeah,
the
they
guy
jumped.
they wanted anyways.
Dumbasses.
Another reason, man. You
traded down
take
2
the wings,
picks.
take the big man. Fucking
Sixers.
do it.
Imagine the Sixers with Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum.
Jesus.
And that's oh my god.
And if they would have
that'd
kept
be
Jim Butts,
nasty.
they would have kept Jim Butt.
That'd be
Jim
nasty.
Butt, dude.
I love Jim Butt,
Now we're
dude.
talking shit.
Jim Butt's one of my favorite players in the NBA. Love that
Jimmy
guy.
Buckets?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a stud.
just-
And
I
that's
love
why
that
I'm
guy.
gonna be honest. I don't really care if the Pistons straight up or not, because like Philly and all these other teams, this class I feel like there's a little more depth there. That if you stay put and take someone at 5, I have confidence that player's going to be just as great as some of these other ones. High, maybe they won't be as
1000%.
great as Jabari or whatever, Chet, but they're going to be a pretty damn good player. So I'm not too worried about it. Stay put at 5, Troy. Work your magic.
Yeah, for
I'm cool
sure.
with it.
And we're talking about trades.
Get Shaedon Sharpe.
Get Shade Sharp.
Jeremy Grant.
This is a message from Woodward Heavyweights.
Yes, please. That'd be dope.
Please draft Shaedon Sharpe. Woodward Heavyweights approves this message.
Troy's like, bet.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hailing in the pick now.
Speaking about the trade market and then moving up in the draft, Jeremy Grant. I know at times, and I don't know if it was with you, Jeff, or just we said it in our podcast by ourselves, but Jeremy Grant, we flirted with like, oh, we could just trade there, be at 7, and fucking grab Manthrin or someone. Like, Do you guys think he holds that type of value? I know we spoke about BDE, but we want the content too, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? But
there's two parts to it. Like one part is the teams at the top of the draft are too bad to even think they need a Jeremy Grant to be good, so they won't trade us any of those picks
for a 1 year guy.
For a 1 year guy, exactly.
Yeah,
It's going to be teams that feel like they're on either the brink of contending or the cusp of contending, or they're teams that have went home early, but that felt like we need a guy like Jeremy
New Orleans
Grant to
at
get
8.
the top.
See,
New Orleans,
that's where you look at these three:
Yes.
New Orleans, San Antonio, and Washington. Those are teams that Washington wants to keep Bradley Beal. They bring in a Jeremy Grant. San Antonio, they love DeJounte Murray. Maybe they sign Ayton. They bring in a Jeremy Grant. There's your 3. You got, obviously, New Orleans is cooking. Think of B.I., Zion, Jeremy Grant, C.J. McCollum, Jose Alvarado. They got a bunch of good young guys. Your boy Herb Jones.
Shout out
And
no disrespect to Herb Jones.
No,
Herb
Jones is a good player.
It's more like Kevin, whatever the fuck
It's
his
the
name
voter.
was. Yeah, Kevin Pelton, you're a clown, wherever you are. Fuck you and your mama.
But yeah, those are the 7 through 10 are the teams that would probably be interested in Jeremy Grant. But if we can get, I don't know, man.
Stay my bro. We can grab Duren.
If we,
and they all fit our timeline.
If we could
trade
trade Jeremy Grant to Portland, and we end up getting Shaedon Sharpe and Keegan Murray,
it's over.
I'm shitting my pants. I'm buying a Troy Weaver jersey.
I don't know if Murray's falling that far though.
Or whoever. I mean,
if we take
Manthrin.
If we take Shaedon Sharpe, there's only one pick that he has to fall through.
Yeah, but I just don't know that he would. But I'm
with
you.
I'm
with
Miles
you.
Turner.
Yeah.
They ain't taking Jalen Duren.
Yeah, they just traded Sabonis, so they don't like big guys that much. Sabonis is a dog.
Yeah,
very possible.
Even Indiana, that's a team that they obviously we saw them try to shake it up. They got Halliburton, they got Miles Turner. Maybe they want to add a Jeremy Grant to that.
And you know what?
Back,
Grant in Portland was already flirted around.
Yeah,
during the regular season, I remember they were even fucking talking. Doing the fucking NBA talk. I got the jersey on so I can do it. Yeah, I'm finna come to Portland. Y'all just give me that 7th pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play with Lillard. Honestly,
LeBron.
Portland, even though they're at 7, they probably still feel like they can compete because they do have Damian Lillard, and because that was the whole plan. We're like, okay, we're just gonna reshuffle the deck next year. So I'm still doing that.
Yeah, anyway. And they had a team of nobodies last year.
There's no way they're thinking they're gonna reshuffle the deck with a rookie.
Yeah,
right.
Changing things
right.
around.
It'd have to be someone special. I mean, unless you land somebody that you're like, this guy's going to be a stud day one. I could see Jeremy Grant going to any of those teams. That's why I'm glad Troy Weaver didn't bite at any deals at the trade deadline. He said, listen, why am I trading him now when in the offseason I'm going to have way more teams coming after me, and we're going to figure out where these teams are selecting in the lottery. So
yes.
Dude, that's
props to Troy, man.
That's
step ahead of these.
That's my dream draft day scenario, is trade with Indiana or Portland, and get Keegan Murray and Shaedon Sharpe.
Who had the 5 and 7 in the NFL draft? Wasn't that like the Giants?
Giants had 5.
4 and 7, I think it was.
Something like that. But
I think they had 5 and 7.
Having 2 picks in the top 10, especially in a draft that's like deeper, that's ideal. Come on, dude.
Who do you guys want at 7?
I feel like Keegan would go to Indiana. That's just I feel like my intuition.
He feels like an Indiana Pacer.
TJ Warren, he's probably out the door. They can replace him right away. Like you said, they have the backcourt. They have the front court.
TJ Warren 2.0.
Yes.
Wow.
Think about that.
I
feel like Indiana would be the place. So who lands at 7?
Wow, they're like the same player.
No,
that's
think about it. You just said
I just had a fucking brain blast.
Yep.
You remember Bubble TJ Warren going for fucking 50
nuts.
points a game?
That was wild. I can't believe that guy. I thought he was gonna be the shit after that. I thought that's all you needed. But yeah, AJ Griffin probably be there.
Yep.
Benedict Mathurin would probably be there.
But if they take Shaedon, let's say that hypothetically they take Shaedon. So who's? I guess you're going opposite approach. You're taking someone, maybe a front court guy. Who's even left? I mean, Jalen Duren would probably be that guy. I would assume. He's the pick.
It would be Duren or.
What a draft!
Yeah. Oh my god.
You leave with Sharpe and Duren.
You fill 2 holes.
Without
top 10,
and like Neil always says, on rookie contracts, you'd have a backcourt on a rookie contract. You had a whole starting lineup on a rookie contract, essentially. Unless you don't trade Jeremy, then of course you have a veteran. But that would be. You're gonna have to pay him, but eventually. But still, man. That's impressive.
Considering the rumors, it feels kind of like a little realistic. I'm not gonna count that out of the cards. To be honest with you, maybe it does sound fucking silly, but it was flirted around regular season. We did see the players talk to each other.
I could see Indiana wanting
Grant?
Jeremy Grant over a Keegan Murray because they know they don't have much time left with Miles Turner. They just got Therese Halliburton. They've got these guys.
Feel like they're in a spot ready to compete.
Malcolm Brogdon's like 30, 29, 30.
Yeah,
they got older guys.
They need to strike now while they think they have that. And I think they would feel that Jeremy Grant is a better impact player than Keegan Murray, which, I mean, he probably is just for a team that's ready to win now. Obviously, Jeremy Grant, he's proven that he can play at an all-star level. And
I think we have to pair him with like a future first, though, or you think he just Grant straight up?
No. Jeremy Grant.
Do you think he has the value to just straight up like fucking give me
we can give him a second rounder. I'll give him Jeremy Grant in a second rounder.
Yeah.
We have a ton of second.
I think
round
Troy
kills in the second round.
Yeah.
He wanted like a pick and a young player. I think that's what he said at the time. I don't know how conversation is going to play out, but if you can get, I think out of the top 10, we can all, I mean, unless you guys disagree, I think Portland's the most desperate.
Yes.
Out of all of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana,
because Indiana, like Damian.
Because Indiana, you could make an argument, but again, they traded away Sabonis, so you don't know if they're hitting into a rebuild. They could trade away Brogdon, Turner, and just say, F it, we're going into rebuild. I feel like Portland isn't. There's the only team you're
Chauncey's
like, they are not.
He's coaching career, man.
Yes, they got to win.
And he's got the Pistons connection. Maybe he's sliding us. Big shot. Come on, buddy.
Big shot. Hey,
your boy Rip made the pick. Now.
So who you guys grabbing though? Duren or Griffin?
I guess I'm good with Shaedon and Jalen Duren.
I would be good with Duren at that point.
Because that feels too big. I mean, the offensive question marks you have about Jalen, you get Shaedon Sharpe, right? So it kind of, I'm like, hey, I'm not as concerned about it.
Yeah, Duren at 7. I feel more comfortable with that after we already got a star potential guy at 5.
Yeah.
Now, if Indiana does something, pulls at Indiana, and Keegan Murray's there, you bet your ass I'm taking Keegan and Shaedon Sharpe. I'm good with that draft.
And this next topic, man, I don't really feel comfortable flirting with it until more than likely after the draft, because then we'll have a better idea, especially after the trade scenarios we just discussed.
Right.
Got me hard as a rock. By the way, I hope that happens. But Deandre Ayton to the Pistons. You saw the odds come out. Jeff, you're actually the one that broke this story to me, so if you're listening, what the hell's going on with that?
Yeah, well, Deandre Ayton, obviously, and the teams that are at top of this list have the most cap space, so it's pretty obvious. Like, you look at the teams that are going to have cap, you look at fit, and Deandre Ayton, clearly how it ended in Phoenix, and not even how it ended, but being the former number 1 overall pick, not getting an extension, playing on your last year of your deal, he could have got injured. I mean, that's a big possibility. Played through it. Only played 17 minutes in an elimination game. I think
refused to go back.
Yeah, refused to go in. All the reports came out.
Blown out.
I feel like I got 50-50. 50% of me thinks, no way, the Suns, they know how they have the team. I mean, listen, they struggled. I get that. But you're not going to let DeAndre Ayton walk? I mean, what are you going to replace? JaVale McGee? I mean, who are you going to replace him with to be able to contend again with Devin and Chris Paul? But then a part of me is like, DeAndre Ayton is just pissed. Like, I feel like there's a part of him that's just like, no respect. I'm a quote-unquote a part of the core, me and Devin Booker, but it seems like Chris Paul, he got the bag. Y'all didn't struggle paying Chris Paul. But then when it was time for me my payday, it was all of a sudden, oh, well, we can't come to an agreement. So I feel like it's a little half. I don't know what he's going to do, but that's the only guy in free agency that I'm willing to throw a bag at. And I will stick by that. I will not throw a bag at anybody else but him. And because of what he brings and he can do so much. Growing Cade Cunningham in his game, to have a guy that's 7 foot, a lob threat, and can play back to the basket, incredibly high efficiency. Yeah. I mean,
people talk crap about his defense, but he plays good defense. He protects the rim. He's a guy in there. We see him making blocks. We saw him in the playoffs last year, making big blocks, having big games defensively against other players, blocking Giannis like in the finals.
That's big.
You know, there are things that happen that you can't teach. But again, if you can't get along with Monty Williams, who is like one of the most loved coaches, nicest guy. Everybody says players coach. Everybody loves him. You know, Dwayne Casey is the same kind of coach. He's the same kind of, old head. What's up, Pops? Hey, Unc, help me out with this. Players coach. And I don't know, man.
It's a great point.
There's got to be something there with him. If they don't want to pay him, there's got to be something there because he's a player that you pay. If you draft, he's from Arizona. He went to Arizona. You drafted him number 1 overall. He's lived up to the expectations. I mean, what are you not paying him for? There's got to be something.
He's played his role. He just played a role. He didn't ask. He wasn't, he didn't bite off more than he could chew. He just said, hey, I'm just going to play the role. He's giving you 15, a double-double, walking double-double. So that's a great point you bring up. I mean, Monty Williams is one of the most respected coaches, and not even just coaches, men in the league, and you can't get along with him.
Yeah.
It does make you think. Like the fact they brought that up. I mean,
there's
we'll
got to
see
be something there.
And that's where Troy Weaver's going to have to sit down in a room with him and have a conversation, whatever that may be, and kind of what does he want.
Has that been a thing, or was it just like this Game 7 situation?
It's been. It's been. I'm sure it wasn't on Sports Center and wasn't on social media, but there was problems all year, and whether it's off the court stuff or in practice, whatever it is, there's always been tension. I mean, that's been reported around the league all year, and just in general. I mean, especially coming off a finals loss, like that doesn't help either. I'm sure if you won the finals, yay, pay Deandre, and everyone's all excited. He wants to stay, but it's just different. You lose the finals, you have the year that they did, it ended how it did, and in the way that it did, doesn't help. Certainly.
Is it bad that I want the Pistons 3-man interviewing party for free agents and draft picks to be Troy Weaver, Dwayne Casey, and Cade Cunningham?
That'd be pretty sick.
I want him to be sitting there at the table.
Cade just like...
Yeah. Because, he's the franchise. That's your franchise.
Yeah.
So he should, obviously,
we got like 8.
It shouldn't be.
He's gonna be like, probably like, come on, dog.
Cade Cunningham is.
I've been in this.
That's where Troy Weaver says Cade Cunningham is much more important to our franchise than you are Deandre Ayton. So that's the first thing you got to get through your head. And again, you're not gonna,
kiss the ring.
It's not gonna be a LeBron situation where LeBron is telling everybody who to draft, who to trade, and who to sign.
No.
But you want his input. You want to see how he'd vibe with these guys because he is the franchise.
For sure.
Cade Cunningham, I hope Cade Cunningham is our point guard for the next 15 years, for the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
Because it's just, we haven't had a player like this on the Pistons since Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
A player that is this good, that is this polarizing, that, is
creates a buzz around the city.
Yeah, exactly.
He does that.
And I think he deserves already to be not in those decisions, like not swaying Troy Weaver's opinion, but to sit down with the guy and to see how he vibes with them, you know, because that's important.
And that's big in the NBA. I mean, nowadays you have to be able to allow your superstars to understand what's going on. Guys get pissed all the time when they're traded without them knowing. Teammates are traded without them knowing.
Yes.
So, I mean, not everyone could be LeBron and make decisions, which don't do that, by the way, because look how it's worked out for him.
I don't want DeMar DeRozan. We want Russell Westbrook.
Exactly.
DeMar DeRozan MVP season.
And we asked Cade when we were at the school who he'd want. He named like 4 or 5 guys. Like he just seems like he's cool. He's probably, if you bring guys in and have him interview,
your name's easy.
Paulo,
that's easy. Ha ha ha.
He's like Paulo, Jaden Ivey, Jabari. What do you say, like Chet? And he just kind of like ended it after that. Like he just said the top 4.
Oh no, it's a lot of them for real.
Dude, he's got a deep ass voice, man.
That's exactly how it sounded.
For real.
That's exactly how it sounded.
Easy,
should have brought up Shaedon Sharpe to him.
Easy, that's easy.
Yeah, but I didn't know Shaedon Sharpe was a thing at that point.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know we'd be in a position to be looking at Shaedon Sharpe. Everybody thought we were getting a top 3.
To be honest with you, like
we were way too cocky.
The kind of hype that's building around this dude, he might creep. Nah.
What?
Creep and
I feel like if the hype around him is like real, that shit. I feel like his name might even creep into the top 3 conversation, but no. Is again, by my philosophy at least.
I was about to say, don't abandon your philosophy about the bigs because you're right on that. You're right on that. Teams are going to value guys like Jabari, Paulo, and Chet over a guy like Shaedon Sharpe. That's just the facts.
Yeah, even guys like that get beat off a dribble. They have a link to, like, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just fuck out of here, boy. Fuck you, me.
Fuck you, me.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right on that.
How far is Jalen Duren from Ayton?
I mean,
potential. I mean, like, I don't know.
We could just talk about coming out of college. DeAndre Ayton was literally
the man,
the dude.
Yeah.
Coming,
undoubtedly.
I looked at DeAndre Ayton. I saw Shaq.
Yeah,
that is what I saw. And I'm dead ass.
He was dominant, man.
A guy,
insanely dominant.
Nobody could box him out. Nobody could even resist. If he's backing you down, he's stunning you. Like you're getting backed all the way to the basket, and he's dunking on you.
Yeah, he reminds like an old school center.
But with a jump shot, he had and you know this, he had a jump shot in college. Yes, and that's what pissed me off about DeAndre Ayton. Where's his game?
We see him take some mid ranges, some 18-footers.
But he's got a pretty jump shot. Maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe they don't want him taking jumpers. But I feel like there's more in DeAndre Ayton's game than he's even allowing. Because in college, he was shooting threes, mid-range. I mean, all 3 levels he was
shooting threes?
Yes.
I thought he was graded a D in 2K when I looked at his 3
No, because they don't shoot him.
Well, you know what? You saying that actually gives me a little goosebumps and hope for him just because look at the Bagley situation and how he was like dying. And don't forget, like, yes, Phoenix is good now. Yes, they're in the finals last year, but they were a dying organization until Chris Paul got there.
Right.
And we all know Chris Paul drugged the fucking OKC under the playoffs. He damn sure was going to drag
Which is
Booker
crazy to
and
think
Ayton
about.
there.
I can't.
That was the best performance I've ever seen out of Chris
He
Paul.
very well
Take
could
that
be.
They were
Thunder
supposed
team.
to be the #1 pick in the league. He said, "No, fuck that. We're going to the playoffs."
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they could still be that garbage ass franchise that just happens to have CP3.
right.
And maybe we get Ayton and see a higher
I
upside.
mean, no,
Shit.
I think
Now I'm
with
kinda
with
excited about
with the
possibly-
picks they made, they're deep on the wing. They have an insane amount of wing depth
They were
with
just never winning.
with Cam Johnson, with Torrey Craig, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, even Devin Booker. Their wing depth is wild.
Wow, baby. Real wow. All right, we got some football in here, but you guys care if we do some UFC real quick?
Dude, let's do it.
Let's do UFC.
All right, bet. Chandler, you're the one that broke. I was gonna listen to this interview, but then you broke the news to me anyway yesterday, Jeff. Poirier versus Colby Covington. Oh, it is just this Poirier versus Colby Covington on the sheet. But dog, what? I want that shit so bad. I'm
No, look, I'll say this. I love money fights. I love big fights like that.
Yeah.
My only question is, I feel like fighters get to a point, and Colby, I feel like, is at that point where
Kobe's
he's like,
such a bitch, dude.
he I feel like he understands, like, well, I'm probably not going to win the title, at least right now. Like, I've tried multiple times, or at least I'm not going to get another title shot.
He's
Yeah, for a minute.
So
not
he's like,
sniffing
I'm
tomorrow's balls.
F it, I'm
Money
getting the bag.
fights. Yeah.
So I respect it. And Dustin is kind of, I feel like Dustin is in the same boat.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he knows
He
I'm
said
not
it.
being.
It wasn't the last year, but I know he said it before. He's like, I'm probably getting some money fights.
Yeah. So I don't hate it. I mean, it doesn't make sense,
took
but I
out
just
my-
would love the press conferences.
I took out
My
Miami
God.
street trash, and now I'm taking out Louisiana swamp trash. Where you at, Dustin Poirier? You cuck.
Dustin Saurier.
Dustin Saurier.
I fucking hate.
levels.
I hate Kobe
Hold your
Covington.
microwave, son.
Bro, your guys was doing the same thing, so
Oh, I know.
don't
I was
just
looking
say
at
when
that.
I'm talking.
Well, I'm
Just
not
interrupting
look,
me
look.
when I'm talking.
Well, you're the one. I'm just trying to let you know levels. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I'm gonna say that every time yours does it too. Now when you're in the middle of the conversation.
All right, I'm just saying. Look, I'm talking right now. Oh, there it goes.
Easy.
Yeah, look at that.
Hello. Yeah. All right, Spence, go ahead.
You just made him drop
yeah,
his
I'm
thought.
just-
I just haven't looked in there high, dog. I'm just.
Oh.
I'm sorry for trying to make a fucking quality product.
It's been doing it the whole time when everybody's been talking.
Okay, the point, what Spencer was saying, and I
Don't feel attacked. Look at you.
No, dude, you cut me off in the middle of my in the middle
He
of
was
my
making
point,
sense.
and
He
now
was
I
speaking
just
facts.
don't even remember what I was saying.
Anyway, Jeff, what's your opinion
Levels,
on no, I'm
levels.
What's
Chill.
your opinion on
Chill,
wheat?
levels.
Wheat, cream of wheat. What do you think
cream
about that
of
stuff?
wheat.
Chill,
Oh
levels.
no, please don't do the cream of wheat. We'll get down this lane, dude.
Fucking get over it.
Get over what?
Go ahead, tell us.
I don't know. What were we talking about?
Poirier Covington.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is a really good fight because I really hate Kobe
So
Covington.
sensitive. Niggas
I
acting
hate
all
him so
insensitive
much.
and shit.
I really hate Kobe Covington, and I think Dustin
I hate him
Poirier
too.
is gonna beat his fucking ass, and that would just be great to see. I would just love to see it. No, but
Who's winning that fight?
Dustin Poirier is winning that fight.
Are you saying because you hate Kobe though?
Yes.
I love that he admits
That's fair.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because that's he ain't saying he's not giving art. He just
We do that here.
Yeah.
I would
no.
probably agree with Spencer just because I just don't want that man to win.
He's just it's tough, man.
Like, be honest, when he fought Masvidal, who were you rooting for?
Masvidal, yeah.
Obviously, Masvidal.
Okay, so there
I
you go.
knew
It just is-
Masvidal
it's
was.
with
So
the
when
nature.
you
It's
bring
with the
people's
nature.
families into shit,
Oh, it's
I
different.
want to see you dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single time.
And I feel like he's gonna do
Every
he's gonna do that with
single
Dustin
fucking
too. His wife.
That's why
I
he
mean,
had
he's
to
gonna bring
replace
it
his
all.
teeth. Actually, Masvidal made sure of it. Caught him in the
Get some new
streets.
dentures.
Yeah, get some new dentures. No, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, they're kind of like the same size. Poirier's natural weight should be like welterweight. Kobe probably could cut
Yeah.
the lightweight if he really wanted to, if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would give Dustin a chance at beating him because Dustin actually has like a ground game. It's
Yeah.
not elite, but he's got good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, not like
it's
Masvidal,
not
where he's
terrible.
gonna be
It's
like,
not Masvidal. Yeah, where it's just not there.
yeah,
And,
at all.
and that's what I knew going into that fight that Kobe was going to win that fight because he's a dominant wrestler. Obviously, he's a great wrestler, but I think Dustin is a better all around striker.
Yeah.
than-
You don't say boxing, dude.
Then
Dustin's got
Colby
power, too.
Yeah,
and
power.
then Jorge. I think Jorge might be a better puncher. You know, he might have bigger power, but I think Dustin is a better striker. He's a better boxer, and this guy, I just want to see him get fucked up so bad,
Me
dude.
too.
I absolutely hate
I love
Kobe Covington.
the Kamaru Usman meme when the fist, as soon as he hits his face, it's
Yeah.
like mid slow motion. Just you see it swollen
Yeah.
Colby Covington. That was just revenge, the taste of revenge. That's why you know what I kind of a part of me also with Poirier. I kind of want him to fight Gaethje again. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I kind of do want to see that fight. It's not really a money
I
fight.
wouldn't be mad at that one at all.
because
for
they
sure.
rematch. I mean, let's see. I mean, Justin just had a tear. They both lost to Charles in pretty
Yeah.
ways that I'm gonna be honest. I picked against Charles both fights. I'll admit it. All right.
Okay.
I'll
a lot of
admit it.
people have.
I picked Gaethje and I picked Dustin Poirier. I lost both times. But I'm not mad at it, man. As much as I hate Colby, go get your money, man. I mean, that goes across everybody.
Yeah, really. I mean, I wouldn't count Dustin out. I mean, Colby obviously could do Colby things and now wrestle him. He is in a higher weight class, so like. But Dustin also had 2 camps recently with Oliveira, Habib before that. If I'm not mistaken, where it's like a lot of groundwork,
Well,
so yeah, I don't know.
And Colby's not better on the ground than either of those guys. So going up against Habib and going up against DeBronx is good. Prepping yourself mentally to go into a fight against another wrestler, and then you get gripped up by Colby Covington, and you're like, oh, this isn't fucking Habib. Yeah. I just wrestled with the best wrestler in the fucking world, and you think I gotta be scared about this? And that it might not be enough to make you outlast it, but it gives you that little bit of a mental edge, at the very least, to where you're like, all right, I'm gonna stand up with this guy. And I'm going to beat this dude's ass. And I'm going to knock his teeth out like Jorge did. And I pray to God that happens.
Who's the fighter, real quick, and I can't think of his name. Who's the fighter with camouflage pants?
Bryce Mitchell.
Mitchell.
What's Thug Nasty?
Thug Nasty.
I want to see Bryce Mitchell be fighting these guys. That man, I love watching Bryce Mitchell.
I don't think he's ready for that yet.
Dude, I know he's so boring, but I love watching him fight.
No, he ain't boring. I like watching him fight.
He hasn't fought.
Yeah, they fought.
Did
he fight on that Jorge Colby card?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He just demolished a guy. Yeah. Completely just obliterated him.
Welterweight. Oh, you know who else is at welterweight now too is Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him fucking fight Colby, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Colby as well. His last couple of fights, obviously dropped by Usman.
I thought he was supposed to fight Hamza.
Who, Colby?
Yeah, what happened to that?
He ain't trying to fight
I don't know.
I want him to fight Hamza.
I don't think he's trying to fight Hamza.
I would love him to fight Hamza.
You gotta think too, like money fight wise, this is probably a bigger fight with Poirier.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they could actually talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Like Hamza would be like, I smash you.
I smash.
I
was
smash
say,
you.
Colby dropped, or at least rocked in his last 3 fights, the 2 against Usman, and then obviously Jorge caught him at one point and just didn't pursue after he was too dead tired. But Poirier obviously could probably bring that same type of shit.
Yeah, Poirier's got hands. He's got power behind those hands.
Dana.
Oh, I'm so
next fight. Talk about money fight. He even said it. He was like, "Yeah, I know I should probably, for legacy and for shit like that, I should probably go after that belt. But I just want the feeling of fighting a Conor McGregor." But he's really saying, "I just want to get fucking paid.
I want the feeling of that money hitting my bank account."
Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor has been talking up. They've been talking beef on Twitter. Everybody's been, Conor's been being Conor on Twitter, and everybody's been tagging Michael Chandler. We saw Michael Chandler call him out after he fucking obliterated Tony Ferguson's chin.
That call out was A1, by the way.
Beautiful call.
Dude, he nailed it. Yeah. WWE.
Some of those guys fuck that shit up. He's A1
every time. And I fuck with Michael Chandler. And I think he beats Conor McGregor. Because Conor, although, he's still Conor, he's still got the power. We've seen him. He looks like a fucking different person now. He's all juiced up, fucking big as fuck. Yeah, face is looking weird as fuck.
They fight at 170, dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, but Michael Chandler, he's in his prime right now. He just got out of knocking out one of the toughest dudes in the NBA. Right? One of the toughest dudes.
Tough in NBA.
He would immediately be the toughest dude in the NBA, but he just knocked out one of the toughest dudes in the UFC. He's ready for it, and I don't think Conor would be ready for it like that. I don't think Conor would get hit with one of those bombs and be like, "Oh, okay, I can eat that." Like, no, it's like Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, like those guys, they hit different. They land bombs. Like those, you get punched by one of those guys, and it could be lights out immediately.
Imagine having a year off and you come back and just face Chandler.
Fight a bulldog like Michael Chandler.
It's the life he lives. It's crazy he's even still doing it because he's so paid.
Yeah,
if he the passion to fight,
and if he loses this fight, his next fight is going to be Jake Paul for sure, 100%.
Say I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
at least for now, just chase money.
Dana would be like, "Yeah, like, what? I'm not giving you." Well, I mean. Dana has his fucking balls, Conor's balls in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm not like a big Conor slappy like that, but I think Connor could beat Chandler. Man. I'm not. Connor's striking is like so clean.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Even against Poirier in the last fight.
And he's
those leg kicks and shit like that. Like
he's a counter.
He looked good before.
He's a counter striker too. So you get somebody like Chandler who's gonna rush in there and fucking
Jose Aldo
fire everything.
Yeah.
And he'll just hit the.
And Chandler, we've seen Chandler get rocked multiple times.
Exactly.
He gets rocked.
He got rocked in the Tony fight.
Yeah,
because
he did
5'7" or something like that. Connor's like 5'9", like. And obviously Connor, like, especially at the MMA level, elite boxing, because we saw him in the ring with Floyd. Yes, Floyd clowned him, but Floyd's GOAT level. You know what I'm saying? So to survive and do what he did, people were saying he wasn't gonna land a shot. He did. He looked clean.
Still though, if I was so confident that Floyd was gonna win, I would have taken out every single penny I had in my name and put it on Floyd Mayweather. I should have.
I wonder what the money line was for that.
It was Connor was like the favorite, I think, at one point.
No, it wasn't.
It was getting crazy to that point.
Dude, I would.
People were betting like,
it was all
because Connor was like the favorite, or it was almost even money, and I was like, dude,
that would have been the fight to bet on, for sure.
Who you put your money on, Joe? Chandler, McGregor.
It's tough to put my money on McGregor. I just haven't seen him in his also with McGregor. I feel like I'd pick McGregor. But I'd want Chandler. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I would, if Chandler won, I'd be way more excited. If McGregor won, I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And I could see it happening. I mean, McGregor, like you said, he's still one of the best strikers. It's just I haven't seen him in so long. I want to see what he looks like after that ankle.
After putting on fucking 60 pounds.
Now he has a steel plate now in his ankle. I want to see how that works.
Dude, he's just throwing kicks all fight.
Yeah.
Right to Michael Chandler's chin.
Speaking of Conor too, in at 170, he's been calling out Kamaru. He even did an interview.
Kamaru would fuck Conor up.
I could just see the UFC granting him because it's Conor. You know how Dan is.
Yeah.
Like you just said, he's got his fucking balls in his mouth.
Yeah.
They know what to sell.
Would that be a murder on television?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
McGregor,
If Kamaru decided to
get
wrestle
on top of him and just
Kamaru,
beat
if they kept
him
it standing,
to
I might. It might be a fight, but Kamaru
knocked out Jose, dude. Like
Jorge,
yeah. Jose.
Racist.
Knocked him out in a vicious
knocked
way.
out Georgie, dude. I hit him like, oh, that was a beautiful punch. But
Street Jesus.
He's like a slot machine.
Kamaru's different, man. He's pound for pound.
He just like he just
pound for pound goat for a reason. The guy's
fell
lapping dudes in his division.
Lapping him.
Yeah, he is.
He's about to start like double lapping.
Who's next up? Oh, in that, by the way, at 170.
I don't know, man. Who would it be?
It's Jared Cannonier.
Yeah. No, that's 180. That's Izzy.
Oh yeah, that is one.
Derek Brunson.
170.
Isn't he fighting Derek Brunson again?
Derek Brunson just lost to
Leon.
Yeah, Derek
Leon, that's who it is. Isn't Leon?
Oh, yeah, it is Leon.
Leon's next.
Yeah.
That's I'm glad Leon.
He's the only guy he hasn't double lapped yet, actually.
Yeah, and he's about to. And he's gonna start triple lapping.
I like Leon.
Yeah. I liked him too up until that Nate Diaz fight.
Okay, yeah. The
you
last
could have finished him. He was fucking. He was limping across. He was twerking.
I think he's gonna come back.
His like hands on his knees, like
shaking hands.
After that, I was like, all right, you know, it's like one shot. Dude,
so funny. Get his ass beat the whole fight. Lands one, rocks him. He's like, it doesn't even pursue. He's like,
that shit, dude. That pissed me off with Nate Diaz.
Pussy. Yeah, I know. He's all show, dude. He's showing him.
Fucking go finish it. What are you doing?
Something was fucked up with his leg though, because he's such a G. Nothing even came out of like what happened to his leg. Something for sure happened to his leg.
Yeah.
You're not telling me nothing happened. He was limping and shit. Like,
you don't hear anything.
Speaking of leg injuries, you see that Rakic versus
yeah, what
tore his ACL in the
that's what it
middle of the
was.
fight. Yeah,
it looked like he tore his ACL, but I don't know. You just see a dude fall down after he steps back.
Spinny?
Yeah,
shit.
That
in the middle of a fight.
I hate when fights end like that.
I hate when
so
you
sad,
see
man.
it like in slow mo. You see like the ripple go down.
Yeah,
the leg.
Yeah.
I hate when fights, and then if you're Juan, you're over there like, I won.
Yeah,
but this dude's on the ground with his knee messed up. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, but
I hate that.
I cashed probably on that one. So shout out that ACL.
Shout out.
Jan was winning that fight though, in my opinion, up until that point.
Jan was winning?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I just saw that.
It was good.
I was out that night.
It was a good ass card.
Was it?
Yeah,
she was good.
I watched a couple fights on the prelims. I had to go. I went out. I didn't get to see that.
I would almost say if you're like bored enough, it might be worth just throwing on in the background.
Yeah.
It was pretty lit. It was a good ass card.
I was wondering how Jan looked. That's what I really wanted to tune in.
Looked good.
Because Rakic was talking. I was excited. He just talks trash, so I was looking forward to it.
I admittedly forget that Jan was like a kickboxing world champion. Like for somebody, I just think of him as like a brawler, but he's actually like pretty like technical. Like, with the hands, like he's nice. What was Jorge say? Doing math on people's faces. It looks like that sometimes. He's just fucking just clean. Whatever.
Doing math on people's faces. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, that's what whatever. Punching numbers. But we got the Lions in here too. Spinny.
It's fucking hot in here, man.
You want to wrap it up?
I mean, it's hour 10. I mean, unless you want to.
Damn, we've been on hour 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. We wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Let's do Lions.
Hey, you want to do Lions? Oh, yeah, you never get to talk Lions anymore.
Sure. Let's run No Huddle Lions.
All right. El Jefe.
What's going on with that, man?
Yeah, it's. I've seen some reports. I've seen it from Detroit Free Press, Detroit News, Tim 20-Min, a bunch of people on Twitter talking about Ben Johnson saying he wants to run a more no huddle based offense, and with Jared Goff at the helm. And I think it's a good idea. I think it's good for Jared Goff because he doesn't have to try to read the defense. He doesn't have to try to go out there and make sure all of these different things are hitting. He can just go out there. He can play the one safety. And I talked about it on BDE about how they could do like an over-under, high-low kind of scheme to where you cut the field in half. You have, Amon-Ra doing a 8-yard out. You have DJ Chark, Jamison Williams running a deep post. And then you have DeAndre Swift in the flats. And all Jared Goff has to do is go out there and key on that safety. And if that safety takes over the top, if he goes after Jamison or DeAndre or DJ Chark, you just pop it down to Amon-Ra. You get a 7-yard game, maybe bust it off for a little more. If not, go up to the next play, go up to the line of scrimmage, boom, call the next play.
Right.
If that safety comes down, jumps Amon-Ra, you throw it over the top. You try to hit DJ Chark, you try to hit Jamison Williams on those big chunk plays. And I think that'll really be good for Jared Goff because we've seen that when he's given time, when he knows his reads, he can be accurate. So if you put him in an offense where he doesn't have to think as much, where he doesn't have to decipher the defense, to read the defense, and he knows, I look at this one guy. If he's doing one thing, I throw it here. If not, I throw it there.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a
like
lot
in LA
better.
with Sean McVay.
Yes,
same concept.
It'll simplify the offense for him, and I think that'll help him a lot, honestly.
And you know what? Ben Johnson can do it, 100%, because we just saw him wrinkling in plays in that second half of the season.
Yeah.
That's when we saw, Jared Goff isn't a turd, a complete turd. A little bit of a turd, though. But anyway.
His girlfriend's not a turd.
Not at all.
I'd eat his girlfriend's turds.
You let her... Okay. I was going to go
He goes,
somewhere
okay.
I'd eat the corn out her shit.
Oh, man. Anyway.
No, I'm just kidding.
Lose your train of thought. You're like,
but for real, though.
yeah, I'm kidding. Actually, no, I'm not. Wait, no, I'm not.
We just saw, the potential of what Ben Johnson could do last year. Just little wrinkles.
Just the tip. You just saw the tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah, what's Kendrick say? Just a tip or some shit? I don't know. Anyway.
You're looking at the guys who don't know the reference, or at least me. Kendrick.
What the fuck
Just
he
the
says.
tip.
Anyway, I don't know. Just a tip, literally, with Ben Johnson.
This dick ain't free.
No, I'm trying to think what it is. It doesn't matter though. I'll let you go in, Jeff, because I just really do have faith in it.
He's got dick on the mind.
Ben Johnson, yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Dude, I've been drinking that Ben Johnson Kool-Aid for quite some
Yeah,
time.
you were one of the first people pouring it.
Dude, I was on the morning show. That's because I always thought of it like this. Why would you let a guy like Ben Johnson, who's highly sought after around the NFL? I mean, this is a guy that Zach Taylor wanted to hire and be a part of his staff. He obviously has
Taylor.
fuck Zach Taylor. But this is a guy that is kind of where the NFL is moving towards. I mean, offensive coordinators, young, innovative guys, and people that, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff. You could talk about all these players got behind him and rallied behind him. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he had a play last year that Amon-Ra St. Brown scored the game-winning touchdown, and he gave credit to Ben Johnson. So stuff like that. When you have players giving credit to the coaches, or at least your offensive coordinator, players love him. I think Dan made the right move. I'm so happy he's here, man. So when he says things like no huddle offense, is that what they're moving? You just sit there and you're like, all right. Because I'm not going to judge him until you start seeing, how it plays out on the field and what goes on through 5-6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like right now, just hearing it, great. Yeah. Whatever you can get out of Jared Goff, because I still believe Jared, he's the Mackinac Bridge, I call him, of Michigan, of quarterbacks. He's just the Mackinac Bridge. You get him to get to the UP being whoever it is, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, whatever it is. I mean, quarterback. He's just here to get us over the.
Let's say, where are you going with that? Like, is Mackinac Bridge shitty? Do people not like Mackinac Bridge?
Okay,
He's a bridge.
You guys thinking
bridge
he's a
quarterback.
turd and shitty? I don't agree with that, but I will agree he's just not good enough.
He's
jump him.
awful.
He's just not. He's like
not somebody you're going to win with.
I just don't think you win a
I would agree with
championship
you.
with
Yes,
him.
I would
That's
agree
what I
with
mean
you.
by
Especially when you're paying him 30.
And you guys are right.
Speaking of D-Mac, that's not winning joy. I'm not talking about winning 11 games and going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Talking about winning.
You win. That's what you should be. When you're talking about winning, it's Super Bowl.
Yeah, and real quick,
I agree with you.
before, because I do believe in Ben Johnson. I do believe we have extremely talented weapons on this team. I just want to say to our listeners, I'm going to clip this out too, because it's very likely that Jared Goff looks like a way different quarterback this year. And they're going to come at me and Spinny specifically because we've been fucking down as the Goff haters, which we kind of deserve it. But he is going to look way better this year. He is. But, again, the point is championship. You're not going to win a championship with Jared Goff. All right? I'm just letting you guys, just know it's not going to happen. Sean McVay couldn't do it. Sean McVay was, fuck it. I'm literally trading him away. You know what I'm saying? For Matthew Stafford. So fuck them picks. He's just not that guy, pal. He's just not. But he will look better this year. I have faith in Ben Johnson. Jameson Williams.
Dan Campbell probably will be play calling. I mean, I'm assuming if that's
even if not, I trust Ben to do it as well.
If people come at me if the Lions win 7 games, 8 games, and they're like, "Oh, what about Jared Goff? He looked great this year."
Yeah,
I'm gonna laugh in their face. I don't give a fuck how good the quarterback looked.
You know
if we
what you
won
have.
7 games.
Yeah.
What if they win 10?
Tell me that when he wins a playoff game. Tell me that when he wins multiple playoff games.
That's fair. Yeah, you know, if he wins the playoff game. Which on my Twitter, if you guys want to cash in $100, I said if he wins the playoff game, actually I said makes the playoff maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
You said make the playoffs.
Oh fuck, maybe don't go to my Twitter. But anyway, you cash in, get $100. But yeah, if he wins a playoff game, then you can tell me shut the fuck up.
Yes.
You call me all kinds of bitches, all kinds of whatever good shit you come up with.
But the point still stands. You're not going to win the playoff game because of Jared Goff.
Yes.
You'll win because of what was built, the coaching, the roster itself.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing. It's not shitting on Jared. That's just the reality.
He's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly.
That's just the
Jimmy
reality.
Garoppolo.
Yes,
the reality.
That's the reality. You're not going to always win because of. I mean, you might lose in spite
You will
of.
never win because of Jared Goff. Anything that matters.
As long as he just keeps you afloat, doesn't throw away the football, you know, throw interceptions, that stuff. I'm not saying he doesn't have an effect on the game, obviously.
But he's not going to go out there in the conference championship game and go for 400 yards.
right.
Did he do that multiple times? That throwing away on 4th down, or was it just that one time?
I swear he's done it more than once. I don't know how many times, but
So
that wasn't just once.
That should tell you right there. That's not fucking championship mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like that ass. So it's like, you threw it out of bounds, like
on 4th down.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
must
I
have a
think that
hammer
kind
on
of goes back to what we were saying with Sean McVay being in his ear. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Now you're in Detroit with Dan Campbell. I mean, you're both learning on the fly again, so it's interesting. I mean, that's why I'm excited to see Ben Johnson and Jared Goff. I think Ben can kind of revive a little bit of what you saw. Not saying he's going to be this. I mean, he's still Jared Goff. No matter what anybody says, under his pads and under everything, he's still Jared Goff. Doesn't matter if he puts up whatever stats.
And you know what's under him?
Can't change it.
His hot ass girlfriend.
Yep.
That is a fact.
He must have a hammer, or he's just one of those rich guys who like cucked around.
Dude, he must have a fucking
Slanging,
iguana.
Slanging, dude.
Iguana.
Iguana,
Big
dude.
veiny motherfucker.
That
That, or he just likes to be a cuck, and he got that bread, so she's like, "Oh, yeah. Daddy."
I mean,
Could be both.
out the way. I seen that video the first time. I was like, God damn, those some nice titties.
Like, I want to be an NFL quarterback, man.
Oh man, we met her. I don't know. Oh, you weren't here then.
When?
They used to stay here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he brought bodyguards to Birmingham. He was scared. He was scared of Birmingham. Thought he was gonna get jumped in Birmingham. That's how soft you're.
And he even throw the ball away on 4th down at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you bring?
I would have punked him.
I feel like if I get
Hey, yo, bitch, give me your money.
if you get traded to a city, like, and you assume that you must really think that city hates you if you bring bodyguards.
In Birmingham,
You're the new quarterback.
In
Everyone will be like, "Hey,
Birmingham.
Jared."
he just thought shitty of Detroit is what it was. He thought
He's
he
like,
had
I'm
all
about
the
to get
shit about
jumped.
Detroit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like,
he's a bitch.
yeah. Well.
Wait, line it up.
All right, let's go. We're this thing, baby. Whose house is this?
Levels.
Levels.
Yeah,
All right, y'all, hit the like button.
Shout out, hit the like button, share. Send it out. Tell your friends. We appreciate.
Tell
you
your mother,
guys.
everybody.
Tell your mother. Tell your
friend,
brother.
tell a friend.
Tell Jared Goff. Tell everybody. Tell a good quarterback. Actually, no, we appreciate you guys showing us the support. We appreciate all the followers, all the likes. We're like 100 followers, 200 followers away from monetizing that shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, sir.
And then
And
we start doing
subscribe.
crazy
Shout out to
shit.
the boys from Half Court as well. We're kind of neck and neck. They're around 800 something too. So
Yeah.
make sure you check out Jeff Iafrate and Sean Murphy if you watch the
Fuck
episode.
them. Subscribe to us.
If you haven't subscribed to Woodward Heavyweights, what the fuck are you doing? Hit the sub button.
And shout out,
Hit the sub button.
Shout out Better Rate Mortgage one more time. We're in the
out.
Better Rate
Shout out,
Mortgage
shout out.
Studios.
Blocking him. I'm blocking
Get your
him right now.
fucking money.
Get your money.